Hey, what's up, boys and girls? It's that special time, or the first time, where I'm going to answer an email sent by, well, no one. I just made up this bit. Samantha Roan says, "You've done a lot of top 5 videos for various parks, and I think they're spectacular videos and everyone should watch them. Ding! But my question is, do you have an idea of what Six Flags should add for the 2018 season?" Well, I've gotten this a few times, and to be honest, I don't really want to do this, so no, I'm not going to do this. The end. Bye. Oh, all right, fine. Jeez. Okay, you know what? I'll do it. Okay. This is my very quick review. Now, I wrote this a while ago, and stuff has come out about Six Flags building 5 new record-breaking attractions next year. So I have no. So I'm just gonna re. I'm just gonna say what I wrote a while ago. Six Flags Over Texas. Inspired by Drew the Intern from In the Loop, I believe that this will be the first Six Flags park, and this will be a tryout similar to how Riddler Revenge and Catwoman Whip and New Texas Giant were the prototypes there as well before they got sent all around the chain. I can see this being Six Flags' venture into the dynamic attractions flying theater. What it essentially is it's a kind of Kuka arm style thing, like if you've ever seen Harry Potter, or if you ever see Knights Knights tournament or jousting, something like that at the Legoland parks. Essentially, it's something that looks like a RoboClaw, except much tamer and put in front of a screen to essentially be Six Flags version of a simulator. Uh, I think that with it being a screen thing, it is something that could easily feature the DC Comics. They could also update it maybe every 3 or so years in an effort to add characters that are popular, get rid of characters that aren't so much, and just have much stronger synergy with the DC brand. And my idea of what I would call it the Hall of Justice 4D experience. So yeah, you'll probably get wind, you'll probably get 3D glasses, you'll probably get 3D, 4D effects, um, and so yeah, that's it. One final thing I forgot to mention is that it won't be a simulator like a typical simulator in a box like Six Flags Over Texas fans will probably remember the right stuff. Disneyland fans might know it better as Star Tours or Star Tours The Adventures Continue. What I'm saying is make it like a Soarin' style thing. So, yeah, with your feet dangling, so you feel like you're flying along with all the DC superheroes. Six Flags Over Georgia, this was kind of a hard park to choose from because I had two main ideas. Either a good scale sized Hurricane Harbor expansion, considering how small their water park is, but since the people in Atlanta have Whitewater about 30 miles away, that I guess it can be a little bit postponed. So what I'm suggesting is to, for the Gotham City area, take out that Batman stunt arena that probably isn't being used, or if they are, I'm guessing just special events, and replacing it with let me see 1 second. Replacing it with Riddler's Revenge, a Zamperla giant discovery that goes up to 147 feet and can carry 40 riders at a time. As you can probably guess from my videos, I have ridden Black Widow at Kennywood, and I can honestly say that is one of the top five major flat rides that I've ever been on. And so I would like Six Flags Over Georgia to add that. Also, they don't necessarily have a whole ton of flat rides, and This is keeping with the I guess 4 years in a row now of DC attractions. Six Flags St. Louis. Ugh. I'm sorry, Six Flags St. Louis. You're not going to get the B&M Hyper, and I don't necessarily think it's right now the time to do anything to the boss, although maybe Topper Track it or maybe GCI it or something. But that's not what we're going to necessarily discuss. What I think Six Flags St. Louis should do if I was in charge is I would look at their Ninja Coaster. Their Ninja Coaster is rough, painful, and unpopular. So what I would do is I would give it new paint, new soft strap trains, and I would give it a brand new name. It's right next to Batman. A good thought would be to call it the Joker, but I think Six Flags is kind of jokered out at this point. So what the heck? Let's overdo another character. Let's call it Riddler's Revenge. If you've been to Six Flags Over Georgia and you've ridden Blue Hawk, then you know what I'm talking about. Ninja was a terrible coaster from what I remember. I haven't been on Blue Hawk, but I imagine it has to be a lot better. So Riddler's Revenge, and yes, I do think you guys deserve a flat ride. So I think you guys should get a Larson Flying Scooters, and with the new movie, with the new Wonder Woman movie doing gangbusters, take the name from Six Flags Over Georgia and call it Wonder Woman Flight School or Wonder Woman's Flight School. No idea where you would add it, just add it somewhere, and that should be a very solid year. Six Flags Great Adventure and Wild Safari is kind of like Six Flags Over Georgia in that, yeah, they've got a huge coaster collection. Yeah, they've got a bunch of kids rides. Yeah, they have a Justice League. Wow, there's more similarities than I thought. But one thing that they also have in common that needs to be heavily affected is that they lack a lot of flat rides. So, what I'm suggesting for Six Flags Great Adventure is for them to take some of that extra land that Joker is on and use some of that to build another Zamperla Giant Discovery. I have two tracks of thought for this one, and you can decide which one you like better, okay? Either theme it to Wonder Woman. For example, take a page out of Six Flags America and Six Flags Discovery Kingdom and call it Wonder Woman Lasso of Truth because the movie, like I said, has done gangbusters. Or there is an Aquaman movie coming out next year, so something that they might be able to do is that the main villain in Aquaman is called Black Manta. And being that the section of the park that they're in is the lakeside area or the lakefront area, that would be a good way to please the DC fans and also please the theme park fans. So take one of those, have fun with it. Six Flags Magic Mountain, I think it's time that they go with another record breaker. And what type of record breaker am I talking about? Not another Discovery. I think they can get that in another year or two. So what I'm suggesting is that they get Six Flags' new tallest Starflyer, maybe 420 feet tall. And if I were to, I don't really have a location idea. Maybe the spot where Deja Vu used to be, because they were going to put the now Roadrunner Express there, but that's obviously somewhere else, so I guess that plot of land is currently empty. So I think that would be a good spot, and it would be easy to take the Wonder Woman Lasso of Truth from Six Flags America and Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, except they already have a Wonder Woman Lasso of Truth in the park, so I'm going to suggest they call this ride Batwing. Why not? My home park, Six Flags Great America. This one, I could have easily been a little biased and said, oh, a Starflyer, oh, a Giant Discovery. I actually think Hurricane Harbor could use some more attention, so what I'm suggesting is a launched water slide saucer ride similar to Thunder Rapids that Six Flags Fiesta Texas added. I'm suggesting this for a few reasons. One, it would be extremely marketable, it would be extremely unique. Hurricane Harbor does get very crowded, even though I did give an example about when to go to avoid the crowds. But also, I'm a little heavy, so I want a slide that you can board at ground level. That's it. One other thing I forgot to mention, I would suggest also calling this Black Manta. Six Flags is really DC heavy. I think they need to try to come up with some other names, like maybe go not so much DC, but whatever. I know DC sells to the general public, so Black Manta. I don't think Aquaman the ride would necessarily work for a water slide. Maybe Aquaman Splashdown, like over Texas. So that's what I'm suggesting. Black Manta. Six Flags America is getting V2 from Six Flags Great America. The end. Okay, I'm kidding. Six Flags America is going to get... I'm thinking they should get an SNS free spin and not call it the Joker because they already have a coaster called Joker's Jinx. So what I'm suggesting is, yeah, call it Batman the Ride like Six Flags Fiesta Texas. And if you're wondering about the distance in comparison to Six Flags New England or Six Flags Great Adventure, keep in mind Six Flags Over Texas and Six Flags Fiesta Texas both have free spins. I think I've made my point. So they can call it Batman the Ride. They can put it in the Gotham City area, maybe even put it next to the Batwing, expand the Gotham City section much more, and there you go. That's it. The end. Six Flags Fiesta Texas, this one was also really tough because the CEO has said that Fiesta Texas is going to be a testing ground for future attractions. So when I think about what type of rides exist, what type of company Six Flags likes to work with, and what type of rides are available that Six Flags hasn't built yet, I'm going to suggest a Zamperla Air Race. I have no idea what this type of ride does. Oh wait, I do. I've been to Lagoon. I'm going to... It's not my favorite type of ride, but it is a unique, marketable thrill ride attraction, and I think Wonder Woman in 2018 is going to be the Joker of 2017, and I think this is also going to be another Wonder Woman flight school. The Great Escape and Splashwater Kingdom, I think it's about time that they get a new coaster. No, it's not going to be a Rocky Mountain. No, it's not going to be a free spin. What I think they could add that I think would be a good fit for their audience is that they have that Nightmare Crackaxle Canyon building just kind of sitting there dormant. So I would suggest doing one of two things. One, either putting a new coaster inside of it, or just bulldozing it and building a new coaster in its place. Years ago, I was thinking a GCI wooden coaster would have fit in pretty well there to complement Comet, but I'm thinking an SNS Junior inverted coaster similar to Merlin's Mayhem, which is being installed in Dutch Wonderland, which has a similar audience and clientele, would be a smart attraction at this park. This is one where I have no idea on the name. I was going to suggest calling it Tornado after the dark ride that was in the section, but then I found out that they had a Pro Slide Tornado called Tornado, so now I have no idea. So, I don't know. Down in the comment section, give me a name. Okay? Bye. Edit, I just came up with a name idea. I'm suggesting taking a page from Ronde and giving it the Phoenix name. I know Phoenix doesn't really work with the ghost town themed area, but honestly, I can't really think of a name that would be appropriate for a ghost town themed area for a junior suspended coaster. I mean, what do you want me to call it? Goliath? That's all. These next two I'm going to kind of mash together because they're essentially going to be adding the same thing. Six Flags Discovery Kingdom and Six Flags New England. I'm thinking that, especially with Six Flags New England now trying to do a holiday in the park, Can't wait to see how that turns out. I'm going to suggest that they, as well as Discovery Kingdom, add the Justice League Battle for Metropolis Dark rides. Um, Six Flags New England, no idea where they could put it. I'm sure there's room. I'm sure the former stunt arena probably isn't being used right now, and they could probably do something there. And with Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, since Blackfish and since animal protest groups have come in, a lot of the former theaters that is at the park are kind of dormant and empty. So I'm sure they could just remove one of their giant unused empty stadiums and put in this ride. They wouldn't have to put in the front of the park because there isn't a height because the the building isn't that tall, and apparently another reason why I've heard is because of not in my backyard neighbors. So this would also not be a problem because it's a building that's indoors. You can't really, it doesn't matter if there's noise. Trust me. I've been to these rides. You can't hear anything. You can't hear much of anything outside. So, for both of these, Sally, Justice League, Battle for Metropolis, Dark rides. Maybe even give them the updated version with Harley Quinn. Six Flags Mexico, yeah, if you saw one of my earlier reviews about Coaster Cat's new park reviews, um, one thing I do want to say is that their kids area is beyond outdated. I am not. You have no idea when I say beyond outdated. They have those Hampton umbrella rides. They have those kids caterpillars. They have a kids whip ride where it looks like you could lay down. Two people could lay down feet toe to toe and probably cover as much space. Like they have a lot of that area is the section where I went through and I was like, man, this section is very outdated. So, I would like to see them turn it into either a Bugs Bunny Boomtown or a DC Super Friends land with some new, more modern kids attractions. Ronde, being that they just closed Cobra, their Intamin stand-up, um, it's pretty. And the rumors about Six Flags Great America with V2. So I think Laurent should get V2 from Six Flags Great America, and I don't know if the V2 name they'll necessarily want to keep it, but if they choose to instead get a different one, may I suggest Screamin' Eagle?